Hi there, this is Alvaro Ayala. I'm really delighted to be here. And in this first video, I would like to tell you what I did in order to become a fluent person. I'm from Colombia. I know English native speaker. I know that you're not right because of my accent. But I would like to tell you this video what I did in order to become a fluent person. Be a fluent person takes time and it's not easy. When a person tell you that become a fluent person in other language is easy, let me tell you it's not true. At least in my case, the most of the case that I know that that is not the reality. It's not the common that some persons tell you that you're able to learn English in 1 year, in 6 months, or in 3 months. It's impossible to learn English in 3 months. I believe that it's impossible to learn English in 6 months. Maybe it's possible to learn English in 1 year, but let me tell you what I did in order to become fluent. And during the video, I'm going to tell you how many days, to become a fluent person. But that is part of the development of the video. So thank you to be here, and I hope you wait to the end of the video. Thank you. So in the first part, let me tell you that to be fluent means that you are able to communicate your ideas in a proper way. So maybe you need to say something to someone, or you want to meet someone and that person is don't speak your native language. Maybe you are from Latin America and your native language is Spanish. So you want to meet someone, maybe you are a girl that want to meet a man, and that man doesn't speak your language. So that is your reason. And when you are able to communicate your ideas with a native person or with someone who speaks native language, you are a fluent person. When you are able to communicate your idea, when you are able to say what you want to say at the moment that you need to say, at the same time, you understand what the people tell you. At the same time, the people understand what you say. That is when you are fluent in that language. That means to be fluent in the language. At the same time, requires that when you are speaking, that the real the conversation fluent. It's like the water in the river. When the water is in the river, the water fluent in the river. It's something that happens and you don't realize about what you're doing. You feel comfortable speaking. That means to be fluent in the language. So that is the first thing that I want that you keep in mind. Now, what I did. What I did in order to become a fluent person. The first thing that I did was that I set the goals that I want to achieve. Let me explain what I did. I noticed that one of the problems that the most of the English students have is that they don't set the goal. It's not the same thing studying English that become a fluent person. So I believe that the first thing that you need to do in order to really become a fluent person is to set what is your goals. We're talking about English, okay? What is your goals in English? What is the reason why you want to learn English? So try to set that goals. When you set that goals, you are going to have in your mind what is the goal that you want to achieve, and every single day you are going to work in order to reach that goal. Okay, so try to set the goal. That is the first thing that I did. So when I set the goals, I started to research what I need to do in order to become a fluent person. So I remember that I started to watch video related or linked with the topic that I tried to read. Remember, my goal was to become a fluent person. So I started to research what to do in order to become a fluent person. And I noticed that the most of the video, and that is something that the most of the video have in common, and that is that what you need to do in order to become a fluent person is to listen and speak the language that you want to learn. Okay, so that is something that you need to do in order to become a fluent person. You need to listen and speak the language that you want to learn as much as you can. Okay, as much as you can. As much as you can mean a lot of things. So if you're a student or you work in a company, maybe you are going to tell me that you don't have enough time to study the language. Okay, and when I say as much as you can, it means that if you had maybe 1 hour a day, you need to study that hour a day. You have 2 hours a day. You need to study at least that's 2 hours a day. You know, I know that for some person it's impossible to learn 2 hours a day, but try to study. You know, just 1 hour a day. And you know, I know that some person is going to tell you I don't have 1 hour a day. You know, but I would like to, you know, I don't know, I'm not saying that everybody in the world has 1 hour a day, but I would like to tell you that, for instance, when you lead to the work, you know, during your day, and maybe you are going to take a bus, or you take a taxi, Uber, or in driver, something like that. So in that traject, if you use your headphones, you are going to be able to listen in during 15 or 30 minutes, you know, in the travel to your job, to your work, to your job. So now you have 30 minutes to do that. And maybe when you are in the rest, you are in your break, uh, you know, during the day, maybe you are going to lead to a meeting, or during the lunch, you had time to listen 15 minutes more. And then when you return to your house, when you go back to your house, maybe you had 15 minutes more. And if you know, add all this time, you realize that you right now got 1 hour a day, you know, of training, of listening, you know. So try to take the time to do that, and you will see the result, you know. If you say to yourself that you don't have time, that is a reality. But if you say, okay, despite that, I believe that I don't have time, I'm going to try to, you know, to do my best effort in order to, you know, practice English, to listen English. So I'm not saying that you need to study English. I'm saying that you need to listen English, you know, at least 1 hour a day. I know that you are, you know, you are an intelligent and a smart person. You are going to find that hour a day in order to practice, you know, to listen your English. So try to listen and practice your English as much as you can. So that is the second thing right there. During 3 years, I was listening English as much as I can. You know, if I had 1 hour a day, I listen 1 hour a day. If I have 2 hours a day, I practice 2 hours a day. You know, sometimes I practice 4, 5, 6, 8 hours a day because I had that time. You know, I not. You know, there are certain days that you're going to have more hours, more time than another. So try to take advantage of that day, and you will see the result very soon. You know. So, the question about, you know, how long is going to take you to learn a new language? You know, it's up to you. Everything is up to you. Why? Because it's not the same thing that you spend 1 hour a day in your side that you spend 3 hours a day. You know. So maybe is you spend 2 hours a day, it's probably that in 1 year or 2 years you become a fluent person, you know. But you maybe if you spend 4 hours a day, you could be able to read the fluency in just 1 year. Okay, so that is what, you know, what you know, that is what I think in order to get the fluency. But you know, everything is personal. You know, everything is out to you, because it's not just the time that you spend doing something, it's about the quality, how you spend that time, and what activities you do in order to read the fluency. So, okay, so the third thing that is important and is linked with the second is you need to try to be effective in your English language. Okay, so in the second part I say that, in the first part I tell you that you need listen English as much as you can, and that is true, you know. But at the beginning, when you start to practice English, it's necessary that you try to keep in mind that you need to choose the right kinds of videos that you want to watch. You know, because it's not the same thing if you choose the wrong videos. You need to choose the right videos. Okay, so um, Then I would like to tell you about, not in this video, another video, I'm going to tell you how to choose the right videos. In this video, I'm going to tell you what I did in order read the fluency. So, to be effectiveness means that you need to first of all try to choose the right videos, and you need to be able to try to learn as much you can and in every single day, because what happened when you start your studies, when you start your, I don't know how you, this is a journey, when you start your journey, is that maybe you start to listen something and you don't understand what you hear, and some people frustrate because they believe because they don't understand they're not advancing the process. So what happened in that moment? In that moment, the most of the people quiet because they believe that they are not advancing, because they're not advancing, they're losing their time. So for them, it's really common to quiet, say no, no, I'm going to quiet. I'm not advancing, so I'm going to quiet. And that's happened is that they lose all the previous job that they were doing, and that is something that you don't want to do. So remember that to learn a new language takes time. It's going to take you a lot of time. It's about effort. It's about time. It's about be smart every single time. So as much when you're when you are a smart person, you need to choose the video, but at the same time you need to to be aware about the kinds of contents or topics that you choose, so at the beginning you need to choose that video really helps you to understand the language, maybe how to structure a sentences, the most you know the most common sentences, how to do a sentence of the appropriate way, different kinds or different kinds or verbs, different kinds or vocabulary. You need to learn about the grammar of English at the beginning. But what happened, and that is a problem because some persons, and I'm going to tell you that it's not about to study, but sometimes you need to study English, okay? Because it's not the same thing that you try to listen something that you are not going to understand, and that you try to listen something that's really, really you had the opportunity to learn something new, and when you learn something new, I believe that you feel more interested in that topic as well, so I will say this part about how you structure your studies, okay? And okay, that is what I did. So after a year, of studying, practice, and listening and listening and listening a lot, I find out that I was improving, you know but certain time I felt that I even I know advancing, I feel frustrated about it. Yes, it's true. Sometimes I feel that despite that I was trying to do my best effort, I was studying English, practicing English during a long time. I felt that I was not advancing as much as I want, and I felt frustrated because of that situation. So in that time, it's important that you try to recall what is the reason why you're studying, so, and that is going to lead me to the fourth thing. It's important to have a purpose, you know to have a purpose. It's not the same thing. That goal is your purpose. Why do you want to set that goal? Why do you want to set a goal? Maybe you want to meet people, maybe you want to be proficient in the language that you are studying. Maybe there is a reason. Or maybe you want to travel around the world and you want to meet people abroad. That is your favorite desire. So I'm saying that you need to find a favorite desire in order to, in that time that you feel frustrated, try to recall, why you started to study, why you keep going studying for a long time, because it's important. The most of the people don't read the fluency because when they when they spend maybe 1 year studying and they don't see the result that they want to see, they quiet. So I'm saying, if you keep going working, I'm going to tell you that you are going to be able to reach the fluency. And that is the five things I'm going to tell you. You need to be resilient, persistent, when you persist in something, when you resilient in something, I believe that you are going to reach the fluency. It's impossible to try to become a fluent person if you are not a that persistent person, if you are not a resilient person, because as I say, there are times where you're going to feel frustrated, that are going to feel that you're losing your time, and that time you need to remember your desire. You need to remember that the only thing that you want to do, that you need to do, is keep going working, that keep going working, listening and speaking, working and speaking. And finally, I would like to tell you that in order to reach the fluency, it's necessary forget about studying. I believe that it's important that you try to keep in mind that the most important thing right here is remember that English is something that you want to practice. So when you forget that you are doing, when you forget that you are studying English, and the only thing that you need to do is that you need to practice English as much as you can, and you practice English every single day of your life, and you forget about study, and you think that the reason why you are doing that thing is not because you need to do it, it's because you want to do it. So at that moment you change, and in your mind you are doing something that you really enjoy. And when you start to do something that you really enjoy, everything change. And the studies or the practice of the language is going to become something that you enjoy. And from that point, I believe that the knowledge that you acquire in the language is really higher, because your mind try to align with that new goal that you want to reach. Your mind try to align with this new joy that you had. And when you enjoy something, I believe that your knowledge and your everything when you are doing is going to improve. So obviously the process of learning is going to improve when you enjoy something that you do. So try to enjoy your stride, try to enjoy when you listen English. You know, and that is important when you choose the right kinds of videos. When you choose the right kinds of videos, I'm talking about the videos that you like to watch. That really matter, because and that moment you are going to start that you really enjoy the video. It's important to do that at the same time when you reach certain kinds of English levels, when you reach certain kinds of English levels, and you notice that right now you are able to understand, almost every video that you can watch. And that moment you really enjoy, you really start to enjoy that video. And from that moment, everything is going to be important. So in summary, I would say that to become a fluent person takes time. It's possible to do that. It doesn't matter that you weren't born in English native speaker. Remember, I am from a Spanish country, and despite of that, I wasn't able to reach the fluency. So my advice to you is keep going working, keep going listening, keep going speaking as much as you can. So in a new video, I'm going to tell you what I did in order to focus more in my speaking. Because when you are reaching certain English level, you are going to notice that you're listening words, but your speaking is not enough. So at certain point you need to stop, or this minute is the time that you invest in your listening, and start to increase the time that you invest in your speaking. So in a new video, I'm going to tell you how to focus on speaking. So that is all. Thank you to listening. I hope to see you in a new video. Bye.